Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time, live stream edition. Today is early access for Bloomburrow, the newest set for Magic the Gathering. It's not available in paper yet. It's not even on Arena quite yet, but I've got the special client that lets me play early. And so today I thought we would just, do a draft or two and just kind of get our hands on some of the new cards. So here's what the layout for the new client looks like, and we're just going to hang out for a minute and let people kind of find us and join in on the festivities here. But if you've never seen one of these before, basically Wizards of the Coast invites, a couple hundred entertainers, performers, live streamers. They invite us to play in this event, and they give us access to a special version of the... all right, Grady says I'm very quiet. Let me see if I can fix that here. Thanks for the shout out there. All right, is that better? I just cranked it up a bit. I'll go maybe a little bit more. All right, just increase the sensitivity on the microphone. So hopefully that improves the sound for you there a bit. As I was saying, live stream, early access. They give us a special client to download, special software that is separate from the normal Arena app, and that took me like an hour and a half to download this morning. They only give it to you like the day of the thing, and it took over 90 minutes to like download this 9 gigabyte package, get it installed, get it set up. And I don't get to keep this. It only works for one day, and then I got to delete it. I don't get to keep any cards I unlock. I don't get to keep all this gold and gems. All this stuff is going to vanish. But for today, we get to do whatever we want. So I thought we would do some drafts, because that's the best way to see new cards in the new set. And I appreciate everyone stopping by here for today's live stream. Are you excited for Bloomburrow? I haven't really been keeping up with previews. I kind of check out for a little bit of the summer. I don't always follow the news every day online, for better or worse. And I'm excited to see what kind of new cards are in there. I'm so on the animal theme. I know some people really like it. For me, Magic is a game about wizards and dragons and armies clashing and fireballs and stuff like that. So to have anthropomorphic frogs suddenly in the mix, I don't know. It's not really my vibe, but I think some of the cards that I have seen look pretty cool, and I'm excited to see how they do in a draft here. So I'm going to queue up for that now, because I know it takes a little while to find enough people to do a draft. So let's jump in the pod, see how long that takes. I was at 5%, now I'm at about 25%. Jeez, all right, well, let me see if I can crank this a little higher. I don't want to start clipping, but here we go. We'll turn off all the suppression. So I just cranked my gain like all the way up on the mic, and hopefully that'll do it. But if I get too excited, you guys might go deaf. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to just jump into the queue here and try to find some draft buddies. I don't really know what the archetypes are. I don't really know like what we're trying to build around here. But it should be a good time. All right, I got one absolute hyped in chat, so hope you're buying enough Bloomburrow to keep the set afloat, but I don't know. Reminds me of that old Redwall cartoon about sentient animals in a medieval setting. Yeah, I keep hearing that get name dropped. I've not seen any of this Redwall stuff, but people seem to be comparing it to that quite a bit. So I guess I'll have to check that out. All right, we got, 6 out of our 8 seats here. We got to find 2 more streamers to join in the fun. This is always exciting because you get to see the names of people. And it's fun to see like who I recognize or what other famous famous entertainers we might be playing with, because I don't usually get to do that. So it's pretty neat. So yeah, for anyone who just recently joined, this is Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. This is mostly we do the stories behind the cards and kind of recap what's happening in the official Magic story. But today we're doing something special. We're doing a early access for Bloomburrow. This is my first look at most of these cards. We're going to jump into a draft here if we can find 2 more people willing to do it with us. And other than that, it's a nice, sunny, hot day out, so I'm happy to be inside with the fan going and just trying to stay cool and play with some cool cards. So Are you also excited for the next set? By next, do you mean Duskmorn coming out later this year? I don't know. That one I know even less about. It's supposed to be like a giant plane-wide haunted house, right? Like a demon was bound to the house, and so he just kept adding rooms to it because he wasn't allowed to leave the house, but now the house just covers the whole plane so he can go wherever he wants. He just kind of cheated. That's what I think I heard. Guys, this is kind of a contentious thing. I don't love like, oh, this is 80s murder 80s horror movie inspired, and they got like VHS tapes, and they got, the Ghostbuster detector wand thing and all of this stuff. Again, doesn't feel like magic to me, but I know I'm not their only person in the audience. I know different people like different things, so I'm trying to be open-minded. But it is really hard to look at those cards. I mean, we've seen a handful of them from the last Magic Con, I think, and I'm just like, I wouldn't have guessed that these are from the multiverse, right? They seem pretty close to being like a universes beyond kind of a thing, really. But, if that's the direction they want to take the game for a couple of sets, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. All right, we're up to 7 butts in chairs now, waiting on one more person. And again, I don't know how many streamers or players are like actively in this event, but it looks like, oh, there we go. We fire. Yeah, it does not. Neither my wife or I are excited for. Okay. All right. Well, good to know I'm not alone, but I don't know. I tend to have faith in Wizards of the Coast. I like to think that they know what they're doing, but I feel like they have also been on a string of missteps lately. I don't know. I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan. Modern Horizons 3 kind of shook up the format in a not great way. So I don't know. All right, I guess my camera's kind of in a bad spot. Can I move that down a little bit? Okay. So, actually, I kind of prefer to do this way anyway. So our rare here is Thornvault Forager, a 2/2 squirrel that can add mana, and it can do the foraging thing, and we can find more squirrels in our library. Okay, that's our rare. When I'm doing a new draft with a new set, I try to quickly find like good statted creatures, like 3 for a 3/3 feels all right. 3/2. I mean, this is a 2/1 flyer for 2. That kind of works with gaining life, but that needs help outside of itself. I usually just want to like first pick decent bodies, or like a generic green ramp card. Like that'll be useful in almost any deck. I don't even have to do squirrels. Like I'm almost always happy to have more ramp, right? All right, we picked up the, oh boy, this is the giant elemental fish, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of islands we control. I don't know if we can really bank on having a lot of islands in a draft deck, so that is like an interesting mythic, but I think we're going to have to skip it. Stargaze. Look at twice X cards from the top of your library. Put X from among them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. You lose X life. Woo. We could stay with green and do a Hunter's Talent. We get to do like a fighting. We get some buffing and maybe some card draw out of this. This seems like, again, pretty good. Other things I try to look for early on are removal, because that's like also always great to have. Here's a 3 for a 3/3 with reach. And when it enters, return up to one other target permanent you control. So this kind of like resets our own stuff. That's kind of cool. I might go with the frog here. Just shooting my shots all over. I don't know. A 4/5 flying bird knight, and whenever another non-token bird we control enters, so remember they shortened enters the battlefield to just enters, this guy will make free fish for us. So maybe like a Simic green-blue kind of a thing. That could be all right. I wouldn't mind using our little squirrel here to ramp into an early big flyer. That actually feels pretty good. Alternatively, maybe this exile spell, just so we have some removal going, but we'll take the big bird for now. All right, we get a quick look at who else is at the table. Preddy, don't know. Damien, don't know. No. I don't recognize. Oh, Amaz. I think I know Amaz. All right, that's the only name I think I recognize. Repel Calamity. Destroy target creature with power 4 or toughness 4 or greater. Okay, a rat wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. Okay, and as long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, we get to shrink our opponent's board. I mean, that's pretty good, like card selection, and it's reasonable. Or we go with this raccoon, 3 for a 3/4. And if we ever spend 4 mana in a turn, he gets even bigger. I mean, that might be better. I like having stuff that we can attack with, and if that gets vigilance, it even gets to attack and then block. All right, a rare coming pretty late. A 1/3 with vigilance. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater. Whenever it attacks up to 1 target artifact, creature, or planeswalker an opponent controls loses all abilities. If it's a creature, it also gets shrunk down to a 2/2. I mean, that seems fine. I don't know why that's it hasn't been picked yet, but we will play the Beast Binder. Sure. When's the Shalendar? Yeah, when's our revisit to Shalendar? Shanda not gonna work here anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love what they did with like even just Ravnica recently with the murder mystery thing. That felt kind of weird. And yeah, the New Worlds. I mean, Thunder Junction was just kind of cowboy hats everywhere and a bunch of legends who just wandered through the Omen Paths and were here for whatever reason. Didn't really feel great about that one either, but okay. Druid of the Spade. As long as you control a token, he gets bigger. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If you control a bird, counter it unless they pay 4. I mean, I don't love counter spells in a draft. It's really hard to know what you're holding it for. It's kind of hard to get like a read on what your opponent's doing. Plus, it's just kind of rude to counter somebody's stuff during the early access events. I don't really do that. So do we want this rabbit? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a counter on this guy. I think we'll take the rabbit. Okay, another rare going late. This is an otter wizard. Pretty cool. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's your first instant, first sorcery, or the first otter, oh my god, you may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. I mean, that's cool and all, but I don't know. Into the Flood Maw. Return target creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand if the gift was promised. Instead, return target non-land permanent. I mean, that's pretty flexible, but here's a green-blue. Ooh, 4 for a 4/4 Froggo. All right, we're taking that. Not Simic, that's just evil. I mean, we tried Simic with the Modern Horizons 3 draft last month, trying to ramp into some Eldrazi. Didn't work out so great for us, so I don't know. Maybe we'll splash in a third color. I don't know how easy or hard that is in this set. Cash grab. Oh boy, the puns. The puns. All right, mill 4. You may put a permanent from among the cards milled that way into your hand. If you control a squirrel, also make a food. I mean, sure, that might make the cut. Water Spout Warden, more frogs. All right, I think we're on Team Frogs. That sounds pretty good to me. 3 for 3/2. Whenever he attacks, if another creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, he gains flying. All right, sweet. That sounds perfect. And then this thing tabled. That's pretty cool. Is it worth trying to make this work? I don't know. Otherwise, we're taking a bird frog. Ooh, that kind of works with our other bird. Yeah, as much as I like that, I don't think we can take the giant sea beast. Honestly felt Thunder Junction could have just been a Dune set instead. Yeah, it didn't really feel like the Wild West, right? It was just kind of cowboy hats for no real reason. I don't know. All right, so nobody's playing red here, huh? Target player draws 3 cards. Sure. Blue loves drawing cards. And then sideboard. So we kind of got blue-green going. I mean, we're not committed if we open like a really good red card in the next pack. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a bird, so we might splash white for our bird. Oh, see, look, and then we open a red-green raccoon. At the beginning of your first main phase, add red or green for each raccoon you control. Whenever you expend 4, gain life. Whenever you expend 8... Oh, man, that's a lot of words on that magic card, for sure. Here's an elemental crab. Really expensive. It's got flash, though, and it can be made cheaper. All right. Cost 1 less to cost if you control an otter. I don't know. We might want, like, this reach guy. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that's what I want. The old giant spider with upside. Ooh, power creep. Power creep. All right, Cliff Top Lookout. 3 for a 1/2 with reach. And when he enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land. Put that onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, man. So this dude just, like, straight up ramps us. That sounds amazing. Right? I don't know what we're ramping into. We've only got one thing more than 4 mana, but guess we gotta start somewhere. Okay. The Dowerport Mage. Oh man, me every Monday. Dower. 2 for a 1/3. Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying. Okay, okay. Let's try and make that happen. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna be entering and leaving the battlefield, hopping all over the place. It's not just story time, it's frog story time. And I see the comment about eating the frog legs, and we're not gonna entertain that on this channel. But if you're getting hungry, that's on you. Grab a snack. Grab a Snickers. You know, you're not you when you're hungry. All right, deck is looking okay. I would like to see maybe some bigger stuff because we have a pretty good curve of 2s and 3s. I'm always curious about sagas. They give you so much value over turns. Whenever a creature you control enters, surveil 1. Okay. Oh, this isn't a saga. Excuse me. This is a class. Different thing. Whenever you attack, blah, blah, blah. Whenever, okay. I mean, that might be it. Otherwise, splash portal, exile a creature, then return it. Ooh, if it's a bird, frog, otter. Oh, man, this is perfect. That's what I want. This lets us, like, not quite flicker because it's a sorcery. Exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control, which, you know. If that creature is a frog, though, we get to draw a card, so it cantrips. That's the word. Not flicker, cantrip. A slow flicker. A strobe. All right, who's hogging all the packs? Well, not really anybody. They're moving around the table. All right. Portent of Calamity. Look at all these blue cards that are just coming right to us. Reveal the top X of your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them. Put the rest into your graveyard. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost if you exiled 4 or more cards this way. Jesus. Then put the rest into your hands. This is like a weird draw spell, maybe free, maybe, I don't know. That's a lot. Sugarcoat. Chant creature or food. Becomes a food. I mean, that's technically removal, right? Turn something into a food? We might need that. We might need to answer what our opponent is doing. And I will take another frog hopper guy here. Does the bird token producer say caster enters? Ah, good question, good question. Our Night Fisher says whenever another non-token bird you control enters, create a fish. So yeah, we could flicker our bird with the splash portal. But then he wouldn't be there to see. It's another one, so we got to find another bird that we can splash around. Get some fish. That's how we win the game. Just fish everywhere. Here's a bird frog. Whenever it enters exile to 1. Yeah, okay. Do we have this? We already have one of these. All right. Or we take this smaller bird with offspring. Oh, okay. So this can make even another small bird. And it's at worst, it's like a Windrake, right? A 3-mana 2/2 with flyer. So we'll take that. This is pretty good draft. I don't see a lot of unplayables yet, and we're only halfway through the second pack, so we can probably tighten this list up quite a bit. All right, now who's hogging the packs? There it is. Zontic. Wow, this is cool looking. Sinister Monolith. I don't think we've seen that one come around yet. I wish we had more time to like look at all these, but we only get like 20 seconds. Whenever this enters, draw, then discard. Oh, that's the draw card again. All right, I guess we're taking this little Bellowing Crier. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gets +1/+0. If it's a token, also gains Death Touch. Ooh, Frog Rabbit. Take that. And another Sky Skipper duo. Okay. I mean, first impression of this set is it's looking better than I had anticipated. I'm enjoying some of these cards already. Let's see how well they actually play. But right now, no complaints. I mean, I still would like to find a little bit more interaction, maybe like a good fight spell or another one of these. So Sugarcoat, it's an enchantment with flash. Enchant creature or food. Enchanted permanent is a colorless food artifact. Loses all other types and abilities. So that, like, you know, you stick it on their best creature, and then their best creature is just food. That seems pretty great. Okay, our rare in our final pack is a Rabbit Archer, but he is green and white. Is it worth splashing for a 2/2 with Vigilance and Reach, and whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit? Well, we don't really have a lot going on in that department, so I think we skip that. Then it's a bunch of black, red, white, the Mind Spiral, which is kind of expensive. I don't think we need 2 of those. We can grab this Changeling. I mean, that's actually maybe useful because it's technically also a bird, so it might just trigger our bird or our frog stuff. Just kind of a good catch-all. Good role player, if you will. Okay. 5 mana Wolverine. And when it enters, we get to pick between a +1/+1 counter, a fight, or breaking up an artifact or enchantment. That seems perfect. Give me like 1 or 2 more of those so we have a nice chunky top end to go with our big bird. Our big bird. Where's... Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we do have a bunch here. We got a 5, 5, 5. We got a bunch of 5s. Maybe we're good on that. All right, so what else do we need? I would like probably a second Sugarcoat. Maybe like a 1-drop or a couple more 2s. Yeah, I don't need this rare Otter. A second Night Fisher, though, that could do it. I know I just said no more 5-drops, but like 5 mana 4/5 flyer kind of slaps, right? Or do we take this Hunter's Talent class? Ooh, this is tough. I don't know. These guys also play off of each other because if we have one and play the other, then we get the fish. I bet we will see that class come back around again. All right. This little dude, hilarious. Stocking the Pantry. Whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters, we don't really have a lot of ways to do that. This is the Otter Draw spell. I think I like this little guy because when he enters, you get a 1/1 counter somewhere. And you gain a life. And he's a little guy. A little frog guy. Might not make the cut, but we'll take him. Splash Lasher. Whenever this creature enters, tap up to 1 target creature, put a stun counter on it. Perfect. Okay. I mean, blue and green don't really do removal, so the best we can do is stun or bounce or fight. But we're kind of coming up short on that. But hey, any frog is a good frog. Okay. Ooh, another Lily Splash Mentor. Could be good. or another small bird, or what is this land? I don't think we've seen this one yet. Uncharted Haven. Oh, it just gives us a color of our choice. I think we'll take another 4-mana 4/4 frog. That seems pretty solid. And then this pack has like nothing. So I guess we just rare draft. Again, I don't get to keep any of these cards. This is a one-day thing. I gotta delete this whole 9 GB software download. The pains I go through for these streams, guys. I hope you appreciate. Ooh, we got a rare frog. Mist Breath Elder, 1 for a 2/2. What? That's huge. Beginning of your upkeep, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, put a counter on this guy. Otherwise, return him. All right, I will totally make that work somehow. And then a Mole Druid. Just, sure. Can always use another mana dork. Is it still a mana dork if they have like 3 toughness or 2 toughness? Does it have to be a 1-mana 1/1 that makes mana to be a mana dork? Or can you still be a dork as a 1/3? Recycling. Return permanent from your graveyard to your hand, or up to 2. Okay, I mean, doesn't seem terrible. Frog is good. I agree. We're on team happy legs here. Team big hoppers. We might end up taking that draw spell after all. Raccoon Rallier. Okay. That's the draft. Now we got to turn this pile into something playable. And not to alarm anybody, but I just heard thunder rumble outside. We're having some wild weather here. So if everything just suddenly cuts out, it's because either my internet or power just went. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. All right, let's get a better look at what we've got here. All right, we're at 48 cards. We just gotta cut 8. I usually like to start at the high end, so I think I want this Wolverine. I think I want both of my birds. Probably, do I need 2 of these guys? I don't think so. We'll go down to 1 of those. Do I want this Mind Spiral? Target player draws 3 cards. If the gift was promised, tap target creature and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. I mean, that is kind of removal and reloads our hand. That seems worth taking as well. So our 5s are pretty big. Lily Splash Mentor. 4 for a 4/4 with reach. Classic Arcanum Stream. You're right. It seems every time I do one of these, there is something weird going on with the weather outside. I don't know. Anyway, Frog Druid, 4 for a 4/4, and for 3 mana, we can exile another target creature and then return it to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter, but only as a sorcery. So no tricky blocks or no dodging removal. That still might be worth having. Is it better than this 2/4 with reach, where we can exile 3 cards from our graveyard to draw a card? That's cut it. Tree Guard Duo, Frog Rabbit, 3 for a 3/4. When it enters until end of turn, target creature you control gains vigilance and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. So this seems good. We don't really have any like trampler to really make good use of that, but a flyer or something. And then the Splash Lasher, 4 for a 3/3. When it enters, oh yeah, we like that guy because it stuns somebody. Okay. How's the curve looking? How's the ramp and fixing? I mean, we're checking all that right now. I like the top end here. I think that's pretty good. I like this 3 mana 3/4, even though he's not a frog. He still has good stats. This is a frog. When it enters, return up to 1 other target permanent you control. Okay, so that might like get somebody out of trouble. I don't know. I don't think I need this Rabbit Druid. Seems kind of understated. Now it's 3 for a 2/3, and we don't really have a lot of ways to make tokens, and it's not part of our kindred people. This frog is, though. Do we need 3 of these Wardens? I don't think we do. I do want Sugarcoat, and I think I do want the Small Bird, and I kind of still like this mascot guy. Do we need both druid things? Probably not. We'll keep the rare one. Cash grab. I don't think we need. The Crier's good. This Beast Binder, a Rat Rogue. Okay, so this guy, a 1/3 with Vigilance, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater. And whenever he attacks, up to one target artifact, creature, or planeswalker an opponent controls loses all abilities until your next turn. I mean, that seems pretty good. So is there... We gotta cut one more card here. We want our Splash Portal. We want our Elder. And I do like this little druid. So where else can we cut one card? Maybe we don't need 2 of these Wardens. Yeah, that looks a little better. All right. Cool. So we're having a lily pad party. What sleeves did they give us? Not a lot. I got Eldrazi sleeves for some reason. Okay, well, let's at least switch up to the black. We do have the frog avatar, and they gave me Mabel the mouse, so I think this is a pretty good looking deck. A little high on the mana curve, but we'll make it work. We're fine. We're good. We are set here. All right, so that's the deck. Did I pick a pet? Yep, I got Mabel. And we're off to the races here. So let's see how we do. Place your bets. The first ever Arcanum Bloomburrow early access draft. We got a nice green-blue frog party happening here. And we're up against Demian86. Don't know ya. 4 lands in the opening grip. And a bunch of 4-mana. Why? Arena. Is this keepable? I think this is better than going down to 6. We're on the draw, so we might pick up something small. Pick up a 3-drop. Okay, well, forest. Opponent also has a forest. Guess I can move my camera back up a bit here, right? Right about there. So you can still see Mabel. Okay. Island. So they've got Bumbleflower Sharepot, which made food. And now they've got a Squirrel Warrior. It's a 1/1 with Trample, but it gets a 1/1 counter on it for each other squirrel and or food you control. And whenever another squirrel or food enters, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, so it's Champion of the Parish, but for squirrels. Sure. Do we use this guy? Where were you last turn? Guess we'll play our 3/2 here. Easy keep, Grady says. Well, that's what I did, so I'm brilliant. Opponent, Dire Sights. Surveil 2, draw 2, you lose 2. Classic black card. That is one thing I will say about this set, Bloomburrow. I feel like so many cards in this set remind me of other cards. And I don't know what that means. Does that mean they are running out of new ideas? Or have we just seen so many Magic cards that they all start to look alike? I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad, but it is interesting how many cards in this set are like clearly references to other cards or like have very similar mechanical structure. Oh my god. Oh dear. Okay, so they have a mythic elemental cat that we have no way to interact with. Huh. I mean, we can just try to be as big as it? I don't know. I see you're 6'6", I got a 6'5", and so now this guy, he'll get to fly again, right? Boom. Okay. So this Ygra, other creatures are food in addition to their other types, so all of our stuff can now be eaten as food. Whenever a food is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 counters on this thing. And they just killed our little flyer, so that was food. So now this is an 8/8. And it has ward sack of food. So the only way we can even interact with this thing is either like double block it at this point. How do we answer this? Why is this a draftable card? I mean, I know it's mythic. It's not going to show up often. But this is insane, right? Like, it's a 5 mana, already an 8/8. I have to try and kill this right now, right? Otherwise, we're dead. It'll snowball. So, okay. Good news is they can't actually kill both of our things. So we're trading 1 for 1. I think opponent should have waited until this was big enough to punch through everybody. Okay, all right, cool. I think they got a little hasty there, but... Okay. So do we play our Sky Skipper duo, exile this guy, return him, and try to start breaking up their food piles? Do we have 5 mana, so we don't have enough to offspring our birds. We could use our crier to go looking for another land. 3, 4, yeah, we don't have enough to offspring this guy either. Let's just play this. So the Splash Lasher, when it enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. So let's stun that and attack with our 6/5. It just started pouring rain, which is great because our frogs love rain, right? They want water. Okay, opponent takes the hit. They're down to just 6, but they've got a lot of food here that they can nibble on. Curious Forager. When it enters, you may forage. When you do, return target permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Oh no! So they just eat a food and they get their... Oh my god! We're gonna have to kill this thing again! How? Polywop, they fight our biggest... Oh my god! We were doing so well. Okay. Okay, and so our Finch formation could give our guy flying, but they've got a 2/4 reach, so that doesn't really help us. What do we do here? I guess we do the crier. Try to find... Okay, Sticky Tongue Sentinel. We play that. We get to return up to 1 other permanent. We're going to take back our Splash Lasher. Because we can use that to stun their Elemental Cat. The pot is removal. 5 taps, sack it, destroy target non-land permanent. Ooh, so it's like an unstable obelisk or whatever. I mean, there's a couple of these that show up from time to time. Good catch. I should have read the whole card. Okay. All right. Well, they also used a Wick Patrol to give our creature minus enough to kill it. Okay, now they're coming at us with a 5/5 trample. We can take that. We haven't taken any damage yet. I just got to get 6 more across the line here. We do our Beast Binder. And we still don't have a 6th land to tap 2 things. Man, this is rough. I guess we just play our 4/4 here and try to hold the line for a turn or 2. Opponent has a pretty solid wall and some health on reserve and removal on board, so, and a mythic in hand. So suddenly not feeling so great about my little frogs, but okay. All right, so they're just going in for the 5, so I'll say no blocks again. So if we draw a 6th land, we can tap and stun 2 things. or give 2 guys flying. All right, we have a 6th land. So is it worth freezing 2 of their things here? Or do I get 2 flyers, but then they gobble up 1, and that doesn't kill them, and then we're pretty much dead on the clapback. So I think we've got to play this with Offspring. Splash Lasher. When it enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. And Offspring is going to make a 1/1 copy of it. So what do I do here? Ugh. Guess we tap the 5/3. And then the Offspring, we're going to go after that. Yep, it's got Ward. We're going to have to sacrifice something, but we can sacrifice the 1/1 that we just made. That actually works out great. Yeah, tapping the Reacher also might have been a play there, but like it's not really strong enough to attack. And we don't have a flyer this turn. But next turn, I might wish that. So like now they're double blocking our 4/4. So I could just kill this now, which then means we drop our Finches and hopefully get to fly over whatever they've got left. So they've got 8 on board right now they could hit us with. Oh, but they still get to gain life, so we need to do more than 6. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to squeeze in enough damage here before this 14/14 untaps. Oh, and then they've got just a big turtle, too. Sure. An embarrassment of riches from the opponent as they continue to play creature after creature. No! Okay. This is getting worse. Didn't think that was possible. And now a 9/9 trample and a 5/4. So we can stop that, go to 1. And let's see, did we have any board wipes in our deck or anything that can deal 9 damage? And these both have reach, so it literally doesn't even matter, even if we had flying. Oh dear. All right, well, a rough start, but good game, opponent. We'll let you do the thing here. Yep. All right, you don't have to do that. You don't have to play everything. Now you're just showing off. All right. So we didn't win in that one. That's fine. I'm just going to quickly turn on one of these other lights in here because it's getting a little dark. So I'll be right back. There we go. Now you can see the mustache. Oh boy. Okay. All right. We learned a lot from that encounter. Okay, lily pad party, take 2. We're just going to jump right into it. Hop right into it. Get it? Get it, guys? For anyone who recently joined, we are doing the early access event for Bloomburrow, courtesy of Wizards of the Coast. You'll be able to play this on Arena and in paper in the next week or so. I don't know the exact date. I think pre-release in paper is this weekend, which means the set comes out next week. And we get to do fun stuff. We're doing a little draft. We got a nice blue-green frog deck, which I thought was pretty good, but that green and black deck just kind of walked all over us. So we're going to have to Reevaluate our strategy here. Okay, it also didn't help that we drew like all 4 mana stuff to start. This time we've got a 2 and some 4s. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh, where's my hello? Takanda. Don't know this person. They went with the armored mouse. And red and green. So they've got a raccoon rallier, 2 for a 2/2. Tap, target creature you control gains haste. Okay, that's actually kind of scary. I'm going to put down our Thorn Vault Forager, one of the few non-frogs in our deck. Tap for a green, or we can forage to get 2 mana in any combination, or pay 4, search your library for a squirrel, and draw it. But I don't think we have any other squirrels. Didn't really think about that. This guy's really just here to provide mana for the frogs. All right, opponent also ramping into something. So do we, stun their ramp guy? I kind of like that, actually. All right, that slows them down a turn. And then we can, ooh, man, I didn't realize how good Lily Splash Mentor plus this is, right? Because we could just pay 3 to exile it, return it, and keep stunning something. That's actually kind of cool. All right, opponent with Baker's Bane Duo. A 2/2 that makes a food, and whenever you expend 4, it gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. All right, that's not impossible to deal with. I think I like playing the mentor here. Jay says, hi, big fan of the lore videos. Glad I could catch a live stream. Just say I love the work. I'm excited for some good Bloomburrow content. Yep, I should have the story recap coming up just in time for the set release. I'm going to start working on it, I don't know, tomorrow and next week. And I try to get it out in time with when the paper set goes on sale. So that should be by next weekend. Opponent has the Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, that's a card that can appear in a booster pack reasonably and fairly, and that's something we are totally equipped to answer. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 protection, red and blue. Okay, we're only half screwed by that. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, deals 2 damage to any target, and they draw a card. So do I jump block this? I guess I have to, right? Otherwise they hit us and then they still kill our 2/2 anyway. So we'll at least deny them a card. Man, that's great. Okay. Okay. So do we try to do the flicker thing? We can't even hit that guy now. Let's try something like this. We'll play our little mini druid. We'll play our tree guard duo. Give this vigilance and +4. Attack for 12. See how the opponent feels there. All right, they give up their haste enabler. I'm actually okay with that, I think. All right, so the good news is we've got some chump blockers now to get in front of this. Oh, well, or they could just, drop a 6/6. Sure. And then we start hitting all of our lands. All right. So how does this work? Exile another target creature, then return it to battlefield under its owner's control. Oh, it's immediate. It's not at the end of the turn. Okay. So that's actually... So we could... Ooh. I guess we'll flicker this guy. Okay. Oh, so Offspring only works when you cast it. It's not when it enters the battlefield. Good to know. Good to know. And so this has protection from blue, so we can't stun that one. But we could flicker this guy again and stun their other guy. Or how about we flicker our Tree Guard duo, buff this, attack for 8? Okay, okay. I'm feeling you now, frogs. This guy is MVP, which means he's about to take like a double lightning bolt to the face. Please don't hurt my frogs. This is pretty sick. When you have 6 mana and you can flicker 2 really good cards, I like it. Now, this thing can hit us and they can draw a card and deal some extra damage. Ooh, or we just block it. Ooh, oh my gosh. Did we just set ourselves up to get wrecked, or did they just forget that they don't have protection from green? Oh man, did we just eat their thing? Come on. What's happening? What are you playing? What's your last card? Valley Rally. No. +2. No! No, that was our buff up guy. Okay. Well. So first we're going to flicker this one time. Tap that. Then do it again. Lock up that. And then attack for 5. Okay. Maybe I got greedy trying to block with that thing. So, I don't know. What did they even play? Oh, right. So there's a bug right now. I can't look at my opponent's graveyard on their turn. That's just a known glitch in this version of Arena I saw going around on the Discord that all of us content creators have access to. So look, I can't look at what they played. Just a small indie company. It's not a big deal. All right. So they're passing their sword around finally. Okay. All right. See, now it pops up. So they played creatures you control get +2/+0. Oh, they could have given it first strike. I guess they didn't need to. Okay. So we'll get... Man. All right. So now they have a blocker with protection from blue, so they can just stop us entirely. But we are still going to flicker our Lasher twice to keep their board somewhat locked down. This feels so dirty. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. And then we have just enough left to play our little 3-tree mascot. He's just a little guy. No point in attacking because this is a green-blue creature and they got protection from blue, so they just block it and we just end up with a tapped frog. All right. So somebody keep track how many opponents we face that have mythic cards in their deck, because we're up to 2 already. And I don't think we opened it. Oh, we saw 1, right? The big sea monster, the mono blue sea monster thing. And so again, I'm blocking there because otherwise if they deal damage to us, they get to draw a card and then deal 2 damage to any target, and the only thing that they would probably hit is that guy anyway, so I might as well just use it to deny them the card draw. Ah, interesting. So that guy took 2 damage, and then they removed the +2/+2 from the sword, so we got to kill it. Now I can't lock that one down. Okay. Well. Maybe I should have attacked with that first, actually. Get them to 4. Flicker again. Keep their 4/4 from untapping. This is payback for the Star Wars pre-release pulls. You're right. I did have a insanely good Star Wars Unlimited pre-release pool. So I guess it's only fair that I get nothing but frogs for this. It's true. Make sure you all subscribe to my new Starcanum channel where we are obsessed with Star Wars Unlimited as well. Yeah, I mean, I got to. Otherwise, they just, again, kill the 2/2. So we'll chump block their 8/8. Oh, it has trample. I didn't even think about that. So they get to kill it and still do 2 damage. Better that than us taking the full 8 and then still losing our frog. Oh, man, but with the vigilance and it can't be tapped, do I have enough to get around what they play? Not really. We need an answer to this thing now. And we draw an island. Okay, well, so this is a problem because with the trample, this thing's guaranteed to hit us, and then it gets to deal an extra 2 damage to any target. So this is representing 10 already. So we have to kill our opponent this turn. But if I flicker this guy, he doesn't have the ability to attack anymore. And if I just attack with the 2 I've got, they just block, and we still lose. So once again, we come up just a little short. And it doesn't matter what we do here because we can't interact with the mythic special guest card. Why? Why, game? Look at, I can do this 3 times now. I can lock up the whole board. Except for their 8/8 vigilance, reach, trample, and protection from my deck. What a fun format. What a fun day in the arena. I wish I had my crying emoji. But I don't. Okay. Goodness gracious. That happened. Died to another mythic. 0-2 with the frogs. The storm is rising. Just want to say, this sort of thing never happens in Star Wars Unlimited. It's not true. It's not true. I've lost a couple games of Star Wars. Not nearly as many as I lose Magic, though. All right. What happens if this opponent also drops a mythic bomb on us? Do we just call it a day? Do another draft? Do sealed? Is your odds better or worse on sealed versus a draft? All right, we have some ramp. We have our awesome Stunlock guy. We have the Crier to go looking for the other half of our... I'm going to call it the Stunlock combo. This hand feels pretty good. Somehow we're getting paired up now. We've got somebody who's already reached silver rank in a client you only get to have for 1 day. So they've been playing, I don't know, this went live at like 11 Eastern. It's 2 o'clock now. So they've only had 3 hours and they're already up to silver rank. Great. I think I'm going to use this Crier to dig, and getting another land is probably better than this thing, so we will bop them. All right, green-black again, so we know where this is heading. Fought Stalker Warlock, a lizard warlock. When it enters, choose target opponent. If they lost life this turn, they reveal their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, and they discard that card. Otherwise, they discard a card. Oh, so we just have to give up a card? Gross. Really unfair. Is it worth locking down this menace thing. Sure. That'll let us get in a couple points of damage here. Keep the pressure on. And then we can even splash portal it. Dig a little deeper. Draw a card, lock somebody up again. Maybe find our other half of our Lasher combo. Okay. Polywallop. Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature you don't control. So they killed our mana dork. Interesting. Alright, so first, we attack for 5. We play the Dowerport Mage. We use Splash Portal to have our Splash Lasher leave the battlefield and return without dying. He was also a frog, so we're going to draw again. We're going to freeze this thing. Look at that. That is Simic value. That is how you play Magic the Gathering as Dr. Richard Garfield, PhD, intended. Okay, feeling it, feeling it. Opponent just in awe of our value there. And they're so annoyed that they Nocturnal Hunger, destroy target creature. If the gift wasn't promised, you lose 2, but they gave us food. Oh boy. They have no attacks. We're going to get in for 5 more here. Okay, okay. And now what do we want to do? Play this raccoon. And our guest star rat rogue. Alright. So this thing can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater. So even if they play something, we're at least getting in for a little bit of damage. And we're holding Sugarcoat, probably one of the better cards in our decks, because this will answer almost anything, as long as it's not a mythic cat with insane ward. Not sour about that one at all. Okay, opponent. Maybe they're stuck on 5 lands. Maybe they're missing a 3rd color out of their deck. I don't know. Okay, oh, yep, that's... I don't... Ooh, okay, so the lizards have the whole if the opponent lost life thing. So I would normally be fine just letting this hit me, but maybe we are supposed to block it. Or maybe they have a give everything -3/-3 board wipe. What is this? It's another mythic! Oh my god, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here! A mythic board wipe! Each player sacrifices a creature 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times! I have no words. I can't even... I can't. Season of Loss. Choose up to 5 paw prints worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. And they just did 5. Each player sacks a creature. They wiped our board with another mythic. And now we've got to find a way to get 4 more damage. We're coming up short again. Yeah, I'll pitch a land. You got it, buddy. And we draw another one. Another one. DJ Khaled. Another one. All right, do I need to sugarcoat either of these? No. What is this game? What draft pod did these people all come out of? What is the meaning of life? We had a full board against nothing. Now we're hitting all of our lands. Okay, well, I think we attack. I think they double block. I think I sugarcoat this, turn it into a food. That lets us kill their 3/2. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at that. They had an answer once again. Sure. Now we have no board again. They're sitting on at least 6 more life thanks to food. 9 more life if they eat all of this. Oh, and they are a Sultai deck. They have a 3rd color that they were just waiting to. So these could be anything. These could be anything now. Here's a rare. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Cool. They bring back their Thoughtstalker. Well, joke's on you. I discard a land. That's why I kept it in hand. Okay. Big top deck, no whammies. Nice. Oh, man. Can't wait to see what our second draft does for us. Opponent now up to 7. We're going to have to kill them a second time. Another land. What a fun interactive experience we're having. Did we have too many lands in our deck? I don't think so. Okay, opponent 19 cards left. We have 17. They have another rare. Castrol the Wind-Crested, a 5-mana 4/5 flyer. Whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card, put a counter on, or reanimate a dead bird. Wow. Wow again. I need to draw like my 4/5 bird pretty much immediately here, right? And we get a 3/4 that doesn't fly or do anything. It buffs itself till the end of our turn. Okay. All right. Opponents are 3 for 3 on the Mythics. And this guy's splashing off-color rares. Oh, it's a 4-color deck. I didn't even notice that. He had to hit. They had to hit a 4 of island and a plains to play their off-color rare. That is very fortuitous, opponent, that you managed to find your exact 2 lands that you needed. All right, we draw the Sky Skipper Duo. When it enters, exile up to 1 target creature you control. Return it at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, joy. All right, well, at least it flies. I mean... Yep. So, and then they have the this thing again, the Rat Warlock, that just gives us //, and kills our only flyer. And now they get to flicker it and do it again. What a cool deck. Like, I'm not angry about that. Opponent clearly deserves to be at silver rank. They have assembled quite the stew over there. But it is hard to face 3 Mythics in a row and just get our teeth kicked in by cards that we had no way to prepare for. All right. Well, good news is I didn't pay anything for this draft, so doesn't even matter. We'll run it back. We'll do one more. We'll do another draft. I was thinking about sealed, but now that I've got a taste for it, I want revenge on everyone who wronged me in that last draft. All right, well, thanks everyone for hanging out with me here as I fumble my way through the Froggy Pond. What animal archetype should we force this time? Truth be told, I think that frog deck was pretty sweet. I liked when we had our little hop lock kind of combo thing going, and we had the birds never really showed up. The card that turns something into food. I mean, that's saw 4 mythics. Are you counting the one that we saw in that we could have drafted? That was like, yeah, saw 4, lost to 3. Well, again, the one presented to us, it wasn't like a draftable card, right? Like I don't know. I'd have to see it again, but it's like 1 blue. Although that, again, last opponent, they got away with a 4-color good stuff pile. So for all I know, they were holding a red card in their hand, waiting for their mountain to show up. You know. I'm not brave enough to do that. I don't think we could just do rainbow deck. Squirrel or trash panda? Okay. Squirrels, they're the best weapon against Emrakul. We all know that. I like green and black. That's usually when I draft or even do sealed. Given my choice, I tend to end up in green black or white black. I just like having access to like removal and all the stuff black can do. Always happy to have that available in my deck. So, okay, how do I make it so we can see this again? I guess we do it this way. How do I make this smaller? Oh my god. I guess we'll do it this way. Okay, so we opened a Mabel. 3 for a 3/3. Other mice you control get better, and this thing makes the sword. That is actually kind of cool. That's a really tempting first pick. Or we can feed the cycle. That's good removal. Oh, man. Or take the Raccoon Bard. 2 for a 2/2. Whenever you expend 4, it gets bigger, and it makes mana. I mean, I think we gotta try Mabel here, though, right? And then here's another mouse, a rare mouse. Okay, Manifold Mouse, 2 for a 1/2. Offspring. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target mouse gains your choice of Double Strike or Trample. Okay. I mean, Grady wants mice. We might have some raccoon guest stars here, though. I don't know if we'll have enough mice. All right, but Mabel. Other mice you control get +1. Makes a sword. Manifold. Little dude. But double strike? Like double strike on Mabel, though? Like, that's nuts. So this is proof that the squeaky wheel gets greased, right? Like, I got 2 rares now to start. Doesn't matter. Okay. Cruel Claws Heist. Oh, this is like the Thoughtseize that you can... Okay. The birds again. Frog again. Playful Shove. 1 damage to any target. Draw a card. Maybe. Nettle Guard. 2 for a 3/1. And whenever it's the target of a spell or an ability, it gets +0/+2. Well, that actually works out pretty good with our Manifold mice. Or we take the Raccoon dude and start giving haste. I think I want to grab as many mice as I can early. But we will find some room for Trash Pandas, Kim. I promise you that. All right, who's at our table this time? Anybody I know? Jason Yee, nope. Human Token, nope. Human Token, nope. Magic Blog. Cream Flash. Didn't we see that one in the last one? Bandit, Cloudy. Don't recognize any of those players. But one of them, or at least one of them, is holding multiple packs. Okay. It's totally fine. We're not in a rush. We have a great deck. Very first Magic deck I ever owned was red and white. That was the White Heat Exodus pre-constructed starter deck that I purchased in 1998 for like $9 or whatever a deck cost back then. Pretty sweet. All right, Fountain Port. This does a little bit of everything. Sack a token, draw a card, make a fish, make treasure. I mean, I wouldn't mind having that in the deck. Other option, Agate Assault. 4 damage to target creature. Ooh. We might just need some good, like, burn removal. So I think we'll take that. Okay. All right, but here's a good option for this Raccoon Rallier. Giving haste to our mice could be really good for us. Other option, though, Veteran Guard Mouse. 4 for 3/4. Got the Valiant thing, but otherwise this is kind of overpriced, right? But it becomes a 4/4 first strike if we can target it with something. I think I want the haste enabler. Thistledown Players. 3 for 3/3 when it attacks. Untap, target non-land permanent. All right, so that would actually work with our Valiant stuff. Okay. Here's an Otter Wizard. No. Don't really love most of these. I guess we'll just take this to have it. Yeah, my camera's covering one card. Okay, I can drop myself back into the dumpster again. Thank you for reminding me. You weren't missing anything good, I promise. Okay, Bravekin Duo Rabbit Mouse. Target creature gets +1 until... Okay, so this is like another Valiant enabler. Sazakap's Brew. Target player draws 2 cards. If a gift was promised, a creature gets +2/+. Oh. Or 2 for a 2/2 mouse. Oh no, I didn't want that. Oh no. I took too long reading. Crumb and get it. Target creature you control gets +2/+2. Can also give it indestructible if we need to. All right, well, I think that's what I want, but I'll just read. Conduct electricity, 6 damage to a creature. Pretty expensive. Okay. Blooming Blast. 2 damage to a creature. If the gift was promised, 3 damage to its controller. All right, I think I want the Veteran Guard Mouse. We need something a little bigger. Like that better than this Otter. Okay. All right, this mice is looking nice. Maybe it's better than the frogs. Can't be worse than the frogs, right? We can't go 0-4. Hooray. Still no mythic. Only 1 pack, though. Show me cards. Show me cards. What? That's going to take all week to get here. Nobody wants this this thing. Another raccoon or another brew. I guess we take the raccoon. And then this is technically a mouse, so we'll take the 3-tree mascot. So I said another brew, but we technically didn't grab the first one because the game punted us into taking this mole. All right, so Guard Mouse, pretty cool. Becomes a 4/4 first strike. Works great with our Manifold Mouse, right? Okay. Teapot Slinger. Ooh. 4 for 3/4 Menace. And whenever we expend 4, 2 damage to each opponent. That can add up. War Squeak. Enchant creature. When it enters, target creature and opponent controls can't block. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. I mean, I kind of like this big raccoon guy. Reds does seem pretty open. I don't know if we need 2 of them. Builder's Talent. When it enters, make a wall. And then whenever we can level this up to get +1/+1 counters on stuff. And even a small reanimator. That seems like a good mana sink, especially if we're playing lots of cheap little guys. I think I'm okay doing that. We didn't get to play with a class with the frogs. So. Although, I mean, a card like that is not very aggressive, right? And if we're kind of like an aggressive red and white thing, is this really more of like a blue-white birds? Blue-white control? I don't know. Waiting on the Bloomburrow story video. Well, you're going to have to keep waiting because I tend to do those the week the set actually comes out, which will be at least another week. The pre-release is this coming weekend, so the story recap is still, I don't know, 10 days away at best. But I'm glad you're excited. I mean, I'm excited too. I love making those. Mabel's Metal. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. One other target creature gets +1. Huh? Or do we just want to like straight up be able to kill big stuff? I think that's more important. Although again, with the Valiant ability. So Valiant, kind of like Heroic from Theros, but it works whenever this creature is the target of a spell or an ability, but only for the first time each turn. So you can't like stack it up repeatedly, but it's easier to trigger, but you can't trigger it multiple times. Jolly Gerbils. Hamster. Bat Bird. Whisker Squill Scribe. 2 for a 2/2. Valiant, you can discard if you do draw. Alright, I mean, at worst, it's a mouse, which we need. I mean, we don't need. We have one payoff for the mice right now, which is just Mabel, so I don't know. But they do seem to work well together. We have some cards that are Valiant and care about getting targeted, and other cards that can target stuff. So I'm pretty happy with how this is shaping up. However, I like to always have at least one big thing in the deck for when we need it. And this boar might be it. 5/5 with reach, trample, and haste. Right? I don't think we need I mean, I would like another Nettle Guard and another Thistledown player, but I'm going to take the big thing while it's here. And so I remember back in the day, I'm talking like late 90s, my friends would make like a red goblin deck, and then they'd like put a Shivan Dragon in there just in case the game goes long. You know, you need something good like that. And I'm like, well, there's no better way to make sure your goblin deck doesn't win fast enough that you need to play the dragon than to put the dragon in there, because you're going to be holding it for like 5 turns when you could be just playing more goblins. But for whatever reason, to this day, I still go, well, I need a 5-drop in case my 2-drop mice don't get the job done. I need that. Probably don't. Ooh, here's a mouse raccoon combo wombo. That actually seems about perfect for us. Unless we want this lizard. No. Or Valley Rally. Oh, that killed us last time. No, I think I want the Roughshod Duo. Yeah. Okay. Heirloom Epic. 4 tap, draw a card. For each mana in this ability's activation cost, you may tap an untapped creature you control, but only as a sorcery. So you can convoke to draw a card. A rabbit. And the rest isn't really our colors. I mean, I'll take this, but I don't know if that's making the cut. Okay. So do we need another crumb and get it? I don't think so. I think I want to try this brew because it's a little bit of like, not quite card draw, but all right, I feel like this has gone around the table. Do we want a rabbit mouse Bravekin duo? Sure. All right, so our curve is like all 2-drops and then a 5/5. So here is the Teapot Slinger, 4 for a 3/4. Oh, we already got one of these. Okay. Yeah, we can double up on him, I guess. And another crumb. How do we feel about the density of like wordplay or puns in this set? Because I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot. Okay, a Mouse Bard, the Whiskervale Forerunner, 4 for a 3/4 with Valiant. Whenever it becomes a target of a thing, look at the top 5 of your library. You may reveal a creature with mana value 3 or less from among them. Put it on the battlefield if it's your turn. Or into your hand. Oh, man. Jackpot. Look at this. This deck is building itself. I don't even have to do anything. I just got to sit here and look good. Weasel. There's Voxy. No. Banishing Light is in this set? Okay. I didn't even know that. But that is like solid answer anything. Love it. The amount of pun names in all the sets this year has been a lot. You are not wrong. It has been a lot. Dare I say too much? Do I want a second Banishing Light? Or this Flying Bat Cleric? I don't know. I think Banishing Lights are pretty solid. And again, we're into the third pack. We've got plenty of playables already. So at this point, we're just kind of dialing it in. But yeah, Thunder Junction had like a bunch, like Prickly Pear. And it's like 2 cactus critters on 1 card. Oh boy. Sonar Strike, 4 damage to target attacking, blocking, or tapped creature. You gain 3 life. If you have a bat, we don't. Rabbit Response. Creatures you control get buffed. Oh, here we go. 1 for a 1/1. That grows. Love it. Any mice here? No. What's this bell do? Fountainport Bell. When it enters, you may search your library for basic land, put it on top, and then draw a card. So we could use this to just straight up draw or to fix our draws. I mean, it's not the worst thing. I feel like the puns are less jarring than in the detective or cowboy set. Yeah. Yeah. Don't really love any of these. All right, so we're down to just a handful of picks left here, and then we're going to have a really sweet mouse deck that's going to go 7-0. I don't know. Have you thought about redoing some of the old TCG Player videos like the Bolas Saga? This channel probably has a lot of new people who were not around back then. Let's put a pin in that for a second. I will finish this draft, and then we will talk about that. Blacksmith's Talent. Ooh, make some swords. Okay, that seems pretty good. Wildfire Howl. 2 damage to each creature. Oh. I don't think I want to kill my own mice, so no. Mabel's Metal? And then... Crumb and Get It again. I don't think I need 3 of those. A Bravekin Duo or another Mabel's Metal. I guess we'll take that. And then, I don't know. These are kind of getting less and less relevant here, but sure. One damage to any target, draw a card. Yeah. And then like our 15th copy of the Raccoon Duo pair. All right, cool. Okay. And switch that over. And then probably like that's probably good. Okay. Have I thought about redoing the old TCG Player videos? So the interesting thing about that is that even though they let me keep the name Magic Arcanum, which I came up with as an employee at TCG Player, but as part of my, call it severance, they let me keep that name, and I'm allowed to make my own videos under that name. But what I do not have is access to any of the old scripts that I wrote. Those are still TCG Player property. And so if I was going to rewrite the Bolas Saga, I would have to like do it all over again, which I could do, but it would take a lot of time. And then I would make that whole video, record it, edit, animate. I do all the animations, everything. Nicole helps with all the graphics and thumbnails. And then at the end, I am left with a video that is competing against the TCG Player one, because those are still up. And if somebody types in, the Bolas history or who's Nicol Bolas or anything along those lines, YouTube is going to recommend them the series that's already on TCG Player, because that one already has a ton of views, and it is confident that those videos will answer what that person is looking for. So I would be at a huge disadvantage after doing a ton of work to even make that video possible. I would be launching it into water that is already full of sharks, basically, right? Like, it would be very hard to thrive by going up against my own work from 5-10 years ago. Like, that just isn't a great use of my time and resources. And being that I do every video entirely myself, I have to be very choosy about what I do. And I have experimented with, people keep saying they want recaps of older stories, do the Weatherlight saga, do Planar Chaos, what was happening back then. And like, I've tried stuff like that. When we went back to Innistrad a couple of years ago for like the third time, I went and did recaps of our first 2 visits to Innistrad, because I had never done those even on the TCG Player channel. And Innistrad's a very popular set, and it has a long and interesting history between the Eldrazi showing up and all that stuff, and Liliana releasing Grizzlebrand and the Hell Vault and all that cool happenings. And I thought those I thought those videos were going to do really, really well for the amount of work I put into them, and how Innistrad's, we're about to go back and this is popular stuff and these should be bangers, right? Nope. Nobody really watched the what happens in original Innistrad videos. So that was a lot of work for very little gain, and that kind of taught me that even though people will ask for certain things and they insist that it would be really successful and lots of people want to know about the Weatherlight saga or something, they just don't, because people aren't typing that into YouTube to search, right? Like, most videos get discovered because somebody types in how to fix a flat tire on a bike, how to re-wallpaper a bathroom. It's mostly question driven. YouTube is the second biggest search engine behind Google itself. And so most of my stuff is built around the idea that people are asking, who is this character, or what's happening in the newest Magic set, because that's the one that's got all the PR behind it. And I just kind of get to ride on Wizards marketing, but nobody's really thinking about Weatherlight. I mean, a handful. Some curious folks are out there. And maybe YouTube will eventually recommend it and it'll show up in your feed. And if Nicole's thumbnail is good enough, which it always is, you might click on it out of curiosity. But very rarely can you like make a video about an old topic and have it do well when you're competing against the current stuff. I mean, people want what's fresh and what's current, right? Yeah. Self-cannibalism. I would be eating my own views, or my own audience would be confused, or whatever. I still get people today who are like, oh, when I post a new video, they're like, oh, wow, you're back to making videos. That's great. I go, back? I've been doing this for 5 years, every other week or so at minimum for the last 5 years. And they're like, I didn't know. I didn't see any. I didn't know. And it's because they were subscribed maybe to the TCG Player channel and they saw my stuff there, and they didn't catch that I launched my own thing. And for the last 5 years, they had no idea I existed, even though YouTube ostensibly should recognize this person watched this type of content before. Here's the newest version of it. It should have been serving it to that person, but they just never saw it. And like, that's what I'm up against. They didn't think to type in Magic Arcanum or what's happening in the new story. They were just getting it spoon-fed, and they had no idea that I was still doing those videos. So anyway, have I done the Bloomburrow storyline yet? I have not. Those I tend to do because they have changed the way the official story is published and the way the card image gallery comes out. All of that has changed on Wizards' end. So now we get the story first, and they post it instead of, it used to be like once a week for like a month, and now they give you like once a day for a week. You get 4 or 5 chapters in a row, but you don't have all the cards yet, not even all the story spotlight cards. So like I can read the story, but I don't really start working on my script until we have the full card image gallery, because then I know who I'm illustrating. Like Mabel is in the story, I know that, but I needed her card, and I needed some of the other cards that have her on it, which weren't included until like the last day because they're like random commons or uncommons. So like this will show up in the video to animate or to reference what's happening on screen or in the story. But I need all that stuff, and Wizards doesn't really do it until like this week or the end of last week. And then like, okay, now I can sit down and start doing it. But then they'll be like, hey, do the live stream early access thing. I'm like, well, that kind of eats up a whole day, and it's the middle of summer, and my kid's home from school, and I've got, vacation plans, and the weather's nice, and I don't want to sit here and spend hours writing. So I kind of put it off, and I go, all right, I'll just try to align it with when the set actually comes out, because then again, you walk into your game store, you see Bloomburrow for sale, you go home, you type in what's happening in Bloomburrow, you find my video, and it works out pretty good that way. But it's all in the timing. It's all in understanding the nuances of how YouTube does stuff, how Wizards does stuff, and how I can make a living out of that. So there we go. Anyway, all right. New viewer, that's exactly how I found your work. The recap, the latest lore brought me in. Fantastic. Thanks for joining up. Glad we found you, or you found us. Cool. Be honest, I found this channel because of the storylines. Didn't know you played Arena. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just it. Like, I focus on the stories, but there's not enough to fill a calendar for the year. So I have done, like, flavor wins, where I've tried to make decks built around story moments. I've done the makeover series, where I take old decks from, like, the 90s and early 2000s and try to update them for standard today. I've tried a whole bunch of different stuff, and none of it really seems to stick. The most successful stuff I do is the story recaps for sure, and I try to have fun by doing these live streams when I get the opportunity. All right, how do I like the new set? Well, this is our second draft of it. We just did the blue-green frogs, and they went 0-3. Even though we had some cool combos in that deck, we just never really hit critical frog tempo. Sometimes you play dailies on stream. I did experiment with that for a while, and I've tried branching the channel out into other things I'm passionate about, so I don't get burned out on just Magic. And guess what? Nobody wants to hear about Battle Spirit Saga, Heroes of Might and Magic, or Star Wars Unlimited. So now I'm spinning off Starcanum to do a channel where I can just do all my Star Wars stuff and be excited about things and not pollute the stream of people who only want Magic stories. So anyway, let's get back to this draft. Flavor wins are my kiddo's favorite. Well, that's great. I liked the flavor wins too. They were a unique thing that like nobody else was really doing. So I thought, but the audience just wasn't showing up as much as I needed to make those worth the time. Okay, so we have 50 cards in the deck right now. I think I want to keep this boar. How many of these teapot slingers do I need? I think I want the veteran guard mouse. I don't know if I need this bat cleric. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, we don't really have ways to do that. I mean, we don't have any other flyers, but the forerunner, yes. Probably don't need double of those. YouTube is a fickle mistress. True. We need more product. No, stop. Pump the brakes. I can't keep up. I can't do it. I wanted to do something for Modern Horizons 3, but there's no like new story. But they dumped a ton of like new legends and new cards on us, and I was thinking about doing something about like where all the planeswalkers are right now as we kind of enter the second half of the Omen Path storyline. I don't know. But again, it's summer. My kid's home. I'm trying to enjoy life right now, so I don't know. Anyway, let's win some games here. We're definitely keeping Mabel. This is a mouse raccoon, so I can keep those. This is 4 damage to a creature. It's one of our better removal spells, although we also have double banishing lights. Maybe that's just better? Yeah, maybe we don't really need this if we're running the banishing lights. 3 for a 3/3, and whenever it attacks, untap another mouse. Those are good for triggering our Valiant stuff, so I kind of want to keep those. Probably don't need this little changeling guy. The scribe I like. So what this brew, we didn't really get to read this one too closely. As an additional cost to cast it, discard a card. Sure. Target player draws 2 cards. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gets +2/+0. So this, okay, a little combat trick that might also draw us some fresh, useful stuff. I like it. The raccoon, we probably don't need 2 of these. Playful shove, 1 damage, draw a card. I mean, I don't love it. Kind of slow as a sorcery. Manifold Mouse we keep. Blooming Blast. 2 damage to target creature. If it was gifted, it's 3 damage to their controller. I mean, that seems pretty good. I mean, that could be like the last 3 points of damage we need to win, at which point I don't care if we're giving them a trigger. Repel Calamity is like one of our other good removal things. The Nettle Guard is good. Mabel's Metal we probably don't need 2 of. I don't even know if we need that at all. Batbird, whenever another creature you control enters, gain a life. Sure. And then the Builder's Talent. Okay. So we play this, we immediately get an 0/4 wall. And then if we level it up for just 1 more mana, whenever 1 or more non-creature, non-land permanents you control enter, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. What do we have for non-creature, non-land permanents? Like the Banishing Lights? Ugh. Okay. So this is a little less good than I thought. So I say ditch Builder's Talent. Anything can target anything, can trigger Valiant in a pinch. You are correct. Gift mechanic continues the trope. Every mechanic is just kicker with it. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. Bravekin Duo. So this can trigger Valiant repeatedly. Crumb and Get It. I mean, I don't think we need 2 of those. The Blacksmith Talent I think I like, even though it's got a lizard in the art. So when this enters, create a colorless equipment artifact creature token named Sword. All right, so the mice can pick up a sword. That's fine. And then if we level this up at the beginning of combat on our turn, attach target equipment we control for free. Sure. And then if we max this out, we get double strike on whoever's holding the sword. That seems pretty good. And then the Heartfire Hero. I mean, we got to cut at least 1 more thing. Technically, I probably should be cutting this 5-drop. But at that point, I could probably go down a land too, maybe. So I don't know. We should get rid of at least 1 more thing here. And it probably is like a 1 or a 2. Should be a mouse in the art, right? Blacksmith Talent. I feel like the mice are the ones with like the sword motif. I mean, Mabel even makes Cragflame. How do we feel about this 1/1? Whenever it's the target of a spell or ability, put a 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power. I mean, I guess that's worth keeping. Crumb is good. This guy's like all right, but maybe is a little slow. Maybe it's just this 2/2 that we cut. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. This just like lets us loot our extra lands away, probably. Yeah, otherwise he's just like kind of vanilla. And if I'm gonna target stuff with Valiant, I want it to be somebody who like gets a buff of some kind. So I think we cut that. All right. House of Mouse. We don't have any mouse sleeves. I just like the nice simple black ones. Those are pretty good. But we got our mouse. Do we have a mouse avatar? No, I have a weasel, a frog, a lizard, the badger, the bunny, or a bat. I guess we're on the badger planet. I don't know. No, not that. That one. That's what I want. Okay, cool. We have a deck. Let's run it. Should cut a land. What could go wrong? Yeah, we didn't ever get in trouble last game with too many or not enough lands. All right, I'm gonna roughly park myself there. Seems good. Okay. All right, we've got 3 lands, the 5-drop, the 4-drop, and none of our like 1, 2, 3s. Cool. All right. Considerably better. We ditch Banishing Light, though. No mouse avatar. I mean, it's probably one of like the paid ones or something. I mean, this is, remember, not my normal arena account. This is the special early access one where they preload a couple of cosmetics in here for us to use, but they didn't give us everything. So I suspect the mouse avatar is going to be like on the mastery pass or something, and you'll get to unlock it at some point. But, you know, can't give you that one for free. Ridiculous. Raccoon Rallier is really good for triggering Valiant. Oh, that's a good point, because it's tap it, give a target haste. Okay, yeah. Well, maybe we can pop off. All right. So we have our manifold mouse. I kind of want to hold on to that till we can offspring it. So we will use this Nettle Guard. 2 mana, 3/1. Feels pretty good. And whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +0/+2. It becomes a 3/3. That's a little less good. But this is also like a disenchant on legs, so if we need to blow up something, we can. All right, opponent did a cash grab, made a food, because they returned a Squirrel Warrior. She's the pre-order. Ah, okay. All right, and they've got a 2/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may forage. When you forage, put a 1/1 counter on this guy. Ugh. Do I level this up and equip my sword for free and attack? Do I... Yeah, I think that's actually fine. This is a good time to level up. So the cool thing about the classes is that they stick... Ooh, that's really good, because it triggered the Valiant thing. So now we got a 4/4. Yeah, get wrecked. So the class is going to stick around, and now that we have paid 3 mana for it, at the beginning of combat on our turn, we get to attach target equipment we control to up to 1 target creature we control. So this sword we can just pass around pretty freely now, which is actually great. And so I believe even if our Nettle Guard is already holding the sword, we still get to trigger this and re-equip it, which will trigger the Valiant, so this will get the defense buff as well. But they are popping off with squirrels left and right. We might have to Banishing Light this thing. All right. Or we offspring the Manifold Mice. Haha. And we get to give Nettle Guard double strike and trample. That would hit pretty hard. We just have to be careful to not die on the backswing. Let's try it. Let's go all out here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Double strike and trample. All right. You want to take 8. Banishing Light does not have flash. It is 3 mana enchantment. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. So can't really use it as a trick per se, but it does answer like literally anything. All right, so they are attacking for 8. That's half of our life. Do we think they have a way to buff these guys? We might end up regretting this. All right. Nope, we take it. Okay. So we've got 5 mana available. Unfortunately, we can't play the duo and something else. So I think we Banishing Light here. Ooh, if I just get rid of their token, they'll have nothing to block with? Alright. If they don't have an answer for this... Ooh. Don't kill it, don't kill it, don't kill it! If they have instant speed removal, I should not have just attacked with both of the little mice, because now... Oh, man. Oh, no. Yep. Now we're dead. I got too greedy, gang. I thought we had that one. I wanted to just kill him, and now we get dead. That was entirely my bad. Okay. Didn't respect the open mana. Didn't expect them to have an instant speed kill spell. Thought we could just squeak by. Ha ha! Can't even blame that one on a mythic. That was just straight up trash play by me. We did have to mulligan, though. I'll say that. All right, this time we got Mabel, but not a lot else. Well, we'll make it work. That was a tough lesson to learn. I didn't have to attack with the 1/1s, or the 1/2s. I could have kept those back as chump blockers. Although we still would have been like basically dead at that point anyway, right? Yeah. Okay. Opponent went down to 5. And the Queen of Cardboard opens with an Uncharted Haven on green. Okay. Here we go. Aggro deck with 2 turns of playing nothing. We find Banishing Light. We run out Mabel. Let's see here. Harvest Right Host. Okay. So this sword gives us +1/+1 vigilance, trample, and haste, but it costs 2 to equip. And their rabbit is a 3/3, but whenever another rabbit enters, gets +1/+0, and if it's the second time, they get to draw a card. Wow. All right, well, I think we're just going to actually suit up Mabel here. And get in for 4. And we can hold on to Mabel's Metal or Crumb and get it if we need to make her indestructible for some reason, although I'm more afraid of her getting exiled with like a Banishing Light. But alright, so they are buffing up their rabbit, making a rabbit token, buffing up the rabbit again. Okay. A 7/5 now. Oh my god. Alright. Target creature you control gets +2/+2, and if we give them a gift, it gets indestructible. So we can turn Mabel into a 6/6. And now she can eat the 7/5. I think that's fine. I think that consumed by greed quite literally. Yeah, I like it when the cards tell a story. I do not. So how about we play this 5/5. Well, he's a 3/3, but we'll toss him the sword, so he attacks as a 5/5 with trample and vigilance. Seems pretty good. You guys ever think about the fact that Bloomburrow features a humanoid-sized object? Fountain Port is a huge construct that is not critter-sized. Makes you think. It's a good point. It's a good point. I think we are on the verge of learning a lot more about the multiverse and like the Fomori and some of the ancient civilizations and stuff. I think we're kind of building up to some huge revelation that it's all been connected, or there was some other empire that existed everywhere beforehand that, you know, we're just now learning about. But all right, so I kind of like playing the Heartfire Hero, giving it the sword. And then if I attack with both of these, that kind of puts them under a good deal of pressure. And now we've got Mabel's Medal here if we need to save someone. Or we could just let this guy trade off. What do we think? Is it worth saving our players? I mean, I guess it is, because we also get to buff the other one. So that hits pretty hard. All right, they're down to 6. We're at 20. Got a good field of mice. Good field mice. Been doing this for 2 hours already. All right, it's getting warm in here. Coyote. When it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls. Oh no! If that creature had power 2 or less, put a counter on this guy. Wow. Interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we play our Roughshod Duo. Play our Banishing Light. Which pops their Coyote. We get our little mouse back. Unfortunately, we can't equip Cragflame, but we can attack for 5 with Trample. They're saying good game. I mean, they're not dead yet. They could block this. Okay. The Thran? No, not that. Yeah, these are the true ancient progenitors. Yeah, Magic Story has gone through some edits, some revisions, some plot twists that nobody saw coming. All right. I think this is it. All right, gang. How many ways can I get wrecked now? Let's try it. This is where they like settle the wreckage me or something, right? I don't know. What other special guest cards do I have to worry about? I think this is lethal into 2 mana, but all right, we finally won one. Mark the date and time. We did it. Crush. Just got here. How is Mouse Tribal? Well, the deck is performing well. We don't use the T word anymore. We can say this is a Kindred deck or a Mouse Typal deck. Currently 1-1. Doing a lot better than our last draft deck, which was Frogs, and that went 0-3. So, we like the mice. The mice are nice. We got a good Valiant thing going. Our pick 1 out of pack 1 was Mabel. A little legend. You know, I'm a sucker for the legends. And the first of many. That is a Worms quote. I can't keep it straight. Face here. GG. All right. Asterisk. Don't know. All right. Planes. And then a bunch of red cards. How lucky are we feeling? Is this hubris now? Are we just getting cocky? Are we just... Ooh, we drew a turn 1 play. Never didn't have it. And we have our soul flyer. Not the weasel! Oh no! Okay, they're gonna get to bop us and gain 2. 2 for a 2/2 with first strike lifelink. That is so insanely overpowered. Ridiculous. Okay, well, we need to find a mountain. Play our Thistledown players. Gain a life off of the Life Creed duo. I don't think we're attacking here. I want to keep this to block this thing. Alright, so this is the Iridescent Vine Lasher. A lizard assassin with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to target opponent. So they got 2 of these now because they offspringed it. So now every land is 2 damage. That's going to add up pretty fast. Alright. Once again, Arena has decided we are capable of matching up against a silver-ranked opponent. And they offspring the Intrepid Rabbit and give their Weasel +2/+2. 4 damage, lifelink, first strike. But it's fine because we hit the mountain that we needed so desperately. So we could double spell here and get our Rallier and our Nettle Guard, so that way next turn we're set up to give Mabel haste. Or we just play Mabel now and buff the 2 mice that we have, but we're not making great use of our mana. Ooh, yeah, I think this is better. Also gains us a little bit of life back with the bird. And no attacks here. Alright, we gotta just stabilize against this landfall drain me to death deck. That's insane! Okay, opponent's studying our board. And so next turn, if we draw a 5th land, we get to play Mabel and equip the sword right away, which would be best. They're tapped out. Double spell and swing next turn. Yeah. That's what we're kind of working towards here. I'd love to find another land. I'm not even picky about the color. Oh! Okay. So we get to play Mabel. We gain a life. We make Crag Flame. Where do we put it? On her? I guess. Then we can give our Nettle Guard haste, turn it into a 4/4. And attack. All right, let's go. Let's go. So they're going to double block Mabel. Okay. I mean, she is good, but she's going to drop the sword, which we can then just keep passing down the line. Although her +1 on all of our other mice is also quite nice to have. But all right, that's all they're blocking. It's just Mabel. So they're taking like 8. And leaving us with a sword. Okay. And those lands hurt. And they've got this bat. That's a 3/1. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, look at the top 4 of your library. You may reveal a creature with a power 3 or less from among them, put it into your hand. All right, so this kind of can draw them cards over time. That's a little unnerving. land. So now, if we draw a 6th land, we get to play this guy and equip somebody. And that would trigger the expend 4. All right. We could also just play him, give him haste, and +1. I mean, he's got menace, so like that'd be pretty good. Okay, opponent, there you go. It's just an early access event, friend. We don't have to be tanking this long. Oh my. Do we think they have a trick? Probably that thing that gives everybody +2, +1, right? Because then they would just kill whatever we block. So if we don't block, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if they have the +2, then it becomes another 8. So it'd be 15 damage. We die if we don't block and they have the thing. So I guess we gotta at least block something and force them to have the pump. The Black Mythic again. No. Don't do it. At least that would also affect them, because it's each player sacrifices creature. So if they have the Black Mythic and they pick sack 3, we're left with a board and they're not. If they pick sack, I guess they could do more than sack 3. They could do sack 5. We could have both have no board. Well, let's see. Stargaze. Look at twice X cards from the top of your library. Put X cards from among them into your hand. The rest into your graveyard. So they get to look at 6 cards. Put 3 and then lose 3. Wow. All right. That gives them a lot of life. Oh dear. Okay. Cool. So we drew a land. So we play this. We'll gain 1. We get to equip. So the expend only counts when you cast spells, not activate abilities. Fine. That's fine. So do I need to like give this a thing? Not really. I think we just get in with our biggest hitters. Okay. 9-6 now. And now I do not want to draw any more lands. I would love to draw that 5/5 boar if I get to call my shots here. But they're about to play a 3/5 flying in vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, if you lost life, target opponent loses 3 life. Jeez, okay, that's gonna hurt. Attacking on tap. All right, let's see. What do they got? So they have a very full hand of cards, lots of mana. We do kind of have them outclassed on the battlefield, but I have a feeling that's not going to last. Right, the attack trigger triggers Valiant, but this, it just gets a defense buff on the Nettle Guard, and they had no blockers or anything anyway, so I didn't really need the +2 toughness because there was no combat damage happening, so that didn't really matter. Okay, opponent uses another full rope, consumed by greed. They gift us a card. Okay. And now what do they got? They got the rabbit. Do I want to just trade off with this flyer? Or try to? So again, if I don't block, it's 5. But if they have a buff, it's very easy for me to end up dead here. So I think I'm going to try to trade with this flyer. Okay. First strike damage happens. Then what? If they had a buff, they would have used it to gain more life, I would think. Flyers trade. Okay, they've got 3 mana left. And between our raccoon and our sword, we've got multiple ways to give haste. Banishing light, sure. Repel calamity doesn't really help us. Okay, once again, opponent down to just 2, but we're only at 6, and they've got a first strike lifelink, and they've got plenty of stuff to play and plenty of mana. Oh man, nice sweaty game of Magic we got going here. Maybe I was supposed to keep up Calamity, but I really wanted to get in damage where I could. Yeah, this is going to gain them a ton of life again. But again, like I feel like I have to block. Well, I don't know. Maybe they don't have a buff. Maybe I just take the 4. Okay. All right. I thought maybe they were gonna pump it and we were dead, but this is too close. Don't love it. So I think I keep confusing the Roughshod duo for our other the Teapot Slinger, which can deal extra damage. All right, we drew a Banishing Light and a Repel Calamity. So what do we want to banish here? I mean, if we just get rid of this rabbit... then they can't block our menacing. Oh, he doesn't have menace, but he does have trample, which is still pretty good. So unless they've got an answer in hand, is this it? Is this win number 2? Come on, come on, come on. Oh no, it's only 5 damage. I thought we had more than... okay. Or no, it's 6. It's 4 plus 2. It is 6. But now they're going to kill our 2/2. This game, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Okay, 2/2. Oh man, but this thing now wrecks us, right? Because if they play this bat, beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, target opponent loses 3 unless they sack a non-land permanent or discard a card. So if they attack with this, they gain life. Mm-hmm. Ooh, but we can just... Ooh. Because this works on toughness. No. All right, they're going to gain a little bit. We're going to kill that thing before it triggers. Now they have no tricks left, so they can't even attack with that. We play Guard Mouse. We give Trample. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Mice got there. Again. I like this deck. Did I have fun? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Repel Calamity kills the bat. We did it. We did, yes. Typically those are like, they go after power, but that one goes after toughness. So it worked. It all worked out. We got there. GG. Let's do it again. Second of many. Come on. All right, we've got 3 lands, some cheap stuff. I think we keep this hand. And we're off to the races against Cordo MTG. Ooh, red-black. We haven't faced that yet, right? This could be like the lizard deck. Or something really aggressive. 3 turns of nothing, though. Well, we'll get the Thistledown players. Gain a life. And attack for 1. All right, as expected, lizards. Menace and reach. Okay, so how do we deal with that? Do I just Banishing Light it? I kind of think I do, because the lizards kind of snowball once they start dealing damage. They tend to each get better, right? Like this one says it enters with a 1/1 counter if an opponent lost life. So if we had left that there and it attacked us, potentially their next lizard would have been bigger or had something going. What the heck? You cannot be serious. I should have saved that Banishing Light, apparently. Another mythic, gang. This is Maha. A 6/5 with flying and trample for 5 mana. Super fair. Ward is discard a card, and creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1, so it just shrinks all of our stuff. So now what do I do? We do this. We gain some life. We will give you double strike and trample. And we'll attack for 6. And we'll say we don't care about your big feathery bird. How about that? You can even attack me back for 6. We'll race. And I think we have another Banishing Light somewhere in the deck, right? Alright. So can they get there on the back of this mythic? Or do we just mouse them out? Wow. Okay, they do nothing. So I think we do the same plan. Give this double strike and trample again. What is that? Oh my god. Scales of Shale. +2/+0, lifelink and indestructible. They just gained a ton of life again. Okay, well, I think we'll just keep building out the board. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to keep your bomb alive. They come in for 6. We're not blocking that. Beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost a life, exile the top 2 of your library, choose one. So they drew a land off of that. And they played a Pathmaker. When it enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that. So they found an Agate Assault. Oof. So they can deal 4 damage to a creature. Probably want to kill one of my Manifold Mice. Or the Thistledown players, because I give them Double Strike and Trample. They're a problem again. Okay, yep, they take out the big boy. That's fine. 6th land. Oof. Alright. So I'm going to play this Whiskervale Forerunner, and I'm going to actually target it so that way the Valiant thing pops off and we get to draw one of these. And so it says you may reveal a creature card, mana value 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield if it's your turn. So do we just want the Roughshod Duo? Yeah, that's free. We gain more life. And like, do I give this double strike, like an attack for 2? Oh, it's only targets mice. So I guess this doesn't super matter because I don't think we're attacking this turn. All right, but we're getting pretty set up, pretty well set up for next turn. Because now I wouldn't mind using the Bravekin Duo to buff up this Forerunner, which will get us another card for free, hopefully, and then we'll give it Double Strike and Trample. All right, so they use the Brew to discard a card and draw 2. I think we're just taking 6 here. We're still at 21. We lost life. They get to exile 2 and pick 1 again. And they pick a Brazen Collector, a 2/1 with first strike. Okay, that's unfortunate. So what I really need is to draw Banishing Light. Or the repel the whatever. The thing that kills 4 toughness. So we have like 2 outs in the deck, I think. All right, opponent. Where are we going next? Man, first strike on defense is like super annoying. I like it, the new style of card. Well, I mean, this is a new card, but... And they get to kill our best shot at digging out of this. Okay. I mean, is it worth giving somebody +1/+1 and trample? buff it. And this is a mouse, so we can give it double strike. I mean, that's actually a pretty good hit. And now their 2-1 first strike doesn't even, like, trade with it. I mean, even if they block with, like, everything, we just get to eat it all, right? All right. Okay. Okay. That was a good hit. That was pretty good. We just have to, like, not die here. Man, I can't... This is flying and trample. That is so insane. Because now this pops. They get 2 more cards. Well, they get to pick one of these 2, but, like... Well, alright. Neither of those is particularly scary. But just the card advantage that this thing is feeding them is pretty ridiculous. Oh, now they do have a ton of first... Ooh. Oh, but we can't use it because the ward... Ah. And now they've got... double first strikers. So what do we do here? Do we just wait? Because if I try to load this guy up again, he becomes a 4-2, and then their first strike, they block and it just dies, right? Some trample damage will get through, but not enough. So I think we just wait. I think we gotta just wait. Oh man, so close. I mean, or do I attack? Because I've got Menace, but I don't have any way to buff that one. I think we just wait. I think we try and play this one a little safer. So the flyer, we can't use any of the buffs on because it's not... I mean, I guess we could give it +1/+1, but the Manifold Mouse says at the beginning of combat on your turn, target mouse you control gets double strike or trample. So we can't buff the flyer. We could use this to give it +1/+1, but then we're only getting in for like 2, which I don't think is enough. And I think I want all of these to block. Oh, they have a hasty boy. All right. We were doing so good. And we drew the answer, but I forgot we needed to discard a card. Okay. So can we survive this? I mean, I guess we use Repel to get rid of this 4-2. Right. Well, let's see. Let's see how the blocks shape up. Man, I don't want to give up anything. I kind of need it all. And if we use Repel here, we'll take 6, 7, 8 damage, go to 1. And hopefully they don't have any... Ooh, I missed that. Okay, so they pump and now we're dead. But that has Menace, right? I couldn't have really blocked it anyway. I missed that they could just pump this a bunch. So I think blocking didn't really matter here. Once again, dead to a mythic that we just could not answer. Feels great. Feels great. Okay. GG. Yeah. We're at what now? 2-2. And the mythic count is up to like 5 against us. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Air bubbles. Don't know ya. Let's see how you do. All right. All mountains. A 3-drop. I mean, this is not the aggressive start that we really want. But at least we can play 1 card out of here. I think we gotta try for better. All right, this is better. This is much better. Scavenger's Talent. Whenever one or more creatures you control die, create a food. Only once per turn. Okay. Well, look at this. We lucked into our 1-drop. The Heartfire Hero. Where did they get this horse? What? All right. Black and white. Okay, I don't think we've seen this yet. Oh, well, we did. We saw the 4-color deck that did have black and white in it. Okay, so now this is interesting. I like keeping the Manifold Mouse until we can offspring it, but maybe playing it now is the right call because we get to start growing this guy. Like, we get in for 4 on turn 2. That feels pretty great. Have we played first in any of these games? I haven't been keeping track, but I will watch the video after it's posted. And then I'll complain about that, because maybe you're right. Maybe we haven't even gotten to go first yet. Okay. Well, we don't really have great turn 3. Ouch. Parting Gust. Exile target non-token creature. If the gift wasn't promised, return that creature, but they did give us a fish. Well, all right. Guess we just get in for 3, and so we can keep our Nettle Guard here in case we want to pop this Scavenger's Talent class. Hi all, glad I could catch one of these streams. Well, glad you could as well. Welcome to the show. We're on our 2nd draft. This one is a red and white mouse deck that is behaving pretty well so far, I would say. Opponent dropped a Moonstone Harbinger, a 1/3 flying death touch. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, bats you control get +1/+0 and gain death touch until end of turn. Only once a turn. Okay. How worried about that are we? Do we Banishing Light it and push in for 6? That seems pretty aggressive. But, like, I don't think we win this by letting the game go long. Other option was to play the Veteran Guard Mouse, but we don't really have any way to trigger Valiant or anything with him. All right, well, opponent's down to 7, which means they're going to start eating food any second and go back up to like 17, 16. Because we've seen that happen a bunch. They're studying their class. Now, we've got the Nettle Guard, and we can pay 1 and sacrifice it to destroy an enchantment. So if we need to, we can pop that thing. All right, opponent didn't do anything. Is this where we get hit with the greed again? I mean, And if they don't have anything, we put them to 1. And then when this dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So like this little Heartfire hero becomes quite dangerous. Okay. Consumed by greed. At least we know it's coming. Target opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. If the gift was promised, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So we could pop this to get rid of the Scavenger's Talent, but then we have to give up the hero, which actually I think I'm okay with, because it'll still do 2 damage to the opponent. And we have enough left to play our veteran guard mouse. And so now we are again representing lethal. Opponent with the Lupin Flower Village. Okay. Repel Calamity. Take down your 5 toughness dude. Mice and fish, best friends forever. That's another W. We count it. Crush, crush. Okay, so mice are at what now? 4, 5 wins? 3? Feels like more than that. All right. So we played what, like 5 games with this deck now? We've played 1 game for each mythic we've encountered. Oh. Pretty. Okay. 4 lands. A 4 and a 5 drop. Well, an opponent goes first again, so I think we mulligan. Try to find something a bit more aggressive. We get the Blacksmith's Talent. Okay, I mean I can keep that. Toss a land back. Yeah, the Fountain Port Bell. That's going to put a basic land on top of their library. And interestingly, they went for another Plains, so they're not like fixing for a second color because they already had an island in hand. And they've got a 2-mana 2/3. Whenever one or more rabbits, bats, birds, or mice you control enter, scry 1. Other rabbits, bats, birds, and mice you control get +1/+1. How is that fair? Okay, so this guy might be a good Banishing Light target. Okay, they redeem their bell to draw a card. We get yet another land. So I kind of like using this brew here. Maybe we can wait on that. Do we just equip the sword? I mean, I guess if we're going to do that, we might as well use the... I'm just going through every permutation of things I can do here. We'll go to combat. This should trigger. Sword onto the raccoon. And yeah, I guess we try to get in here. Great. Just walk into a removal spell. Perfect. At least we got that out of their hand. Okay. So they have a 4/4 Flying Bird Scout. Whenever it attacks, target creature you control without flying gets +1/+1. Wow. So do we Banishing Light this little thing or the big flyer? I think we gotta get this out of here, right? Otherwise... Otherwise it's just gonna clock us. Alright, and now... they have a second one. Cool. Cool. At least they are now tapped out. So we have options. We could repel Calamity, kill this. We could just drop this huge boar and equip it. Do I get in for 6 here and then take 7 when they attack me back? I guess we got to play defense. I don't like playing defense against a blue and white deck. That doesn't make a lot of sense here. Because I'm sure they're going to untap and now kill this. And I'm going to wish I had at least gotten 6 damage out of it. Okay. They attack. I guess we try to block. What do you got, opponent? Crumbs. Okay. Well. Oh my gosh. What a combo. And somehow we only have 1 plains, so I can play a blocker or I can get rid of this giant flyer, but not both. I mean, we can eat the food, gain a little bit of life, or we could discard Repel Calamity to draw 2 other cards. I don't think that is where we want to be. I suspect this is the your team gets +2/+2. So let's see, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're not dead. Ooh, they didn't. Okay. So awkwardly, now our Repel Calamity doesn't work. So I guess we've got to... We'll swap that and see if we can find something else here. Land. And a teapot slinger. Okay, so we get to attack. Still keep this available to block. But I don't think that's going to be enough. They redeem their land. Sacrifice the village, look at the top 6 of your library. You may reveal a bat, bird, mouse, or rabbit, put it into your hand. And they find another... How did they draft 3 of these things? Yep. And they're doing this all on 4 lands. Alright, we are dead in the sky here. What's it cost to level this up? 4? Alright. So let's see. If we move this over to the Menace guy, now we've got double strike Menace. Can we do 16 damage? Oh, why didn't I attack with both? Oh my god. Alright. Cool. We're just dead to an abundance of flyers. Yep. Ah, well. Easy come, easy go. The mice certainly did better than the frogs. Pretty happy with that. We'll get them up on screen here for one last look, I think. Oh, I can't. I clicked the thing, and now my deck is gone. I was going to put the deck on screen to look at, but that's not how Arena works. Okay, well, then... I have had a lovely time with the Bloomburrow. There it is. Had a lovely time with the Bloomburrow Early Access event. Thanks once again to Wizards of the Coast. I am legally obligated to point out that they did grant me access to this special program. But it's only for today because the set goes on sale, I don't know, in paper next week. I think it comes to Arena like a week from today, like next Tuesday or something. I'm not entirely sure. But if you had fun watching, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. And come back in about, 10 days or so, and I should have the full story recap of what happens in Bloomburrow ready for you. But that's going to be it for me today. That's a 3-hour-ish stream. We did 2 full drafts and had a lot of fun doing it. I liked the mice better than the frogs. And there were some interesting mechanical interactions there that don't really jump off the page to you when you're just looking at the cards. You gotta see them in action to understand how certain things are gonna trigger and bounce off one another. So always a cool treat getting to do these early access streams. I look forward to it for every set, and it's just one of the perks of the job. But hopefully this inspires you all to get out there and experiment with your own Bloomburrow cards. And if you come up with something cool, if you have fun, let me know. Leave me a comment. Shoot me a message on Twitter or X or email or the community tab of the YouTube channel or wherever. I'm pretty approachable, and I love to hear about magic stories of all kinds. So Nicole is usually in the chat lurking. I don't know if she's here today. She might be doing something else. So I'll just say goodbye on behalf of her. And once again, I'm Ryan. Behind the scenes is Nicole. We're so glad you were here for this exciting early access event. My voice is shot. I'm going to go take a cool shower because it's like 85 degrees in this room. I got all these hot lights on too. So I am sweating more than we were in that last game. But it was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody once again, and I'll see you next time.